No, we're still talking about food.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So like specifically one time I was like, yo, I want like chicken tacos. I was like, but I want like, like fresh, like I want some chicken and some like pico and stuff on that. But I didn't like really tell her that. I was just like, I want chicken tacos. So she literally just made regular tacos with like the taco seasoning and everything, and just instead of beef, she put chicken in it. And I was like, this is not what I wanted. Not even close to what I wanted. Yeah.
I'm not that picky. I don't really care.
I still ate it, but
so here's what flashed in my head, right? For some reason, my mind is 30 to 45 seconds behind when I realized that you said you don't like ketchup on your burgers, right?
yeah.
3 years ago, we did a cheeseburger challenge. What on the burger?
I think it was just ketchup, right?
Nothing but cheese and ketchup.
Yeah. But we did that because we had to create a baseline.
Yeah, but I would have went without ketchup had I known you didn't like ketchup.
Well, but it's like that's the most common way people get a burger.
Okay.
So like that was in my head. I was like, we have to base it off of like how people would order this burger.
I get it. I'm just saying we could have just went without ketchup because ketchup is trash.
Okay. On that note, do you have anything that you would say years old?
No, I was today years old when I realized that I still hate ketchup, and all of you ketchup lovers are trash.
Wait, but it's over the age of what?
8.
8. Why 8? Why is that the cutoff? Why not
Because
10?
7 is the age that a child knows right from wrong. I give them a year to continue to make bad decisions, and after that, they're held accountable.
Your math ain't math.
Yeah, dude.
I said math. I ain't saying with T. Your math with MAF. Your math ain't math.
Well, I don't see why not.
The limits and restrictions you put in your own mind to justify things is ridiculous sometimes.
7 is the age of knowing right from wrong.
So for those previous 6 years, you did not know that you were doing something wrong.
You're learning right from wrong.
So up until
there may be some things that you know are right, some things that you know are wrong. But at 7, your mind has formed enough to understand and to think about, if I touch this fire and I know it's hot, I'm going to burn myself. That's wrong. I shouldn't do it. Now, it doesn't mean that they don't say, fuck it, and touch it anyway.
But why ketchup specifically? Why do you have an issue with ketchup specifically?
Because it's trash.
What did it do to... There's a lot of toppings and condiments I don't like, but I don't have like this deep-rooted hatred for it that you do.
Because people make ketchup
it's
sound
not
like it's
normal.
like it's the best thing in the world. Like the first thing you get when you get home is like, can you make sure to get ketchup from McDonald's? And it's just like, dog, you got ketchup in the fridge. Why are you mad at me? Why are you mad at me for not getting ketchup
Here's the thing.
from McDonald's? There's ketchup in the goddamn fridge anyway, and nobody wants ketchup on their damn fries anyway.
You know what's funny is nobody loves ketchup as much as Michael hates it.
Sorry, y'all.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Sorry, y'all.
I do got another question for you guys.
What's up?
What's your guys' take on off-brand food? like
Don't get me started.
Great Value, Always Save. No. So just like no off-brand food at all. Because I have one rule.
Here's my one rule, and I tell my wife all the time. I don't care if you come home with Great Value, Best Choice, but the minute I see Always Save come in my damn door, it's going out the same way it just came in, just as quickly. So
tell people Always Save is what off-brand.
What do you mean?
Like, where do you find Always Save?
Oh, that's Price Chopper.
Yeah. So, like, if anybody's listening, don't know what Price Chopper is, it's our kind of a local grocery store. But yeah.
So here's my thing. I used to work there, right? And so there's some things that they don't tell you, right? Like, Best Choice is usually the same as name brand. Like, same companies, like one of those companies, like if we're looking at vegetables, green beans, right? they got the Libby's and the whatever, but Best Choice is literally the runs on the same conveyor belt. They just put the top of the line, the grade AA in here, and then the grade B in Best Choice, right? And then all of the shit that falls at the end, at the bottom, they scrounge through, and it's like, this is actually still okay. Let's throw it in an always save can and sell it for less. I don't want nobody's scraps.
You're
I
so
don't want nobody's
ridiculous,
scraps.
man.
Nobody.
So my one, I have one rule. When I told my wife, I was like, you can buy literally anything you want off-brand. I will not complain, except for one thing.
What's that? Tissue.
Do not buy off-brand macaroni and cheese.
That's fair.
Wait,
If you're gonna get boxed macaroni and cheese, do not buy off-brand mac and cheese. Preferably, I want you to get Velveeta shells and cheese, but I will eat Kraft. Okay.
okay.
Do not come home with no Always Save mac and cheese, no Best Choice mac and cheese. Don't do it.
So anything else can be always saved.
I
or
don't
Best
care.
Choice.
Yep. And I've made that rule.
Okay.
That just the one thing I asked, not off-brand mac and cheese.
Okay.
Guess what my wife did? Came home with some off-brand mac and cheese one time.
This life being the best life they could be all the time.
Do you think sometimes she's like in the grocery store, and your voice is playing over like the good angel side of her, like, do not come home with off-brand mac and cheese, and then her little devil side comes out and was like, piss them off and then act like you forgot, and then she giggles, she just
Yeah.
and then grabs it.
Yeah, I think that 100% happens.
Damn.
Dude, she has to. There's no fucking way she doesn't do some of the shit she does on purpose. You know what I mean? And I know it's got to be true with your guys' wives. Like, this is not a unique situation to me. Our wives do little things that they know is going to fucking get to us.
Oh yeah.
Just so they... I think it's because they
Is this
want to
part
feel like
two?
they have power over us.
Is this part two?
I feel like this is just going to be a running segment, honestly.
Let me throw another thing in there, right? Right. So my part two for it is, I will ask my wife a question, like a pretty plain and simple question. I'd be like, so we're not gonna go with the simple. What do you want to eat? Because last week I said it, and
Yeah.
she never knows, right? So I'll be like, hey, did you bring that bag in from the car? She knows we just went to the store. She knows there was a bag that's not in the house. She'll be like, what bag?
Yep.
The only bag we had in the car, we went to Walmart right before this. You were holding a Walmart bag. I can't find it. Did you bring it in? Oh, yeah, I brought it in. Well, okay. Then why can't you just say that instead of saying what bag?
Yup.
You know what the hell I'm talking about.
It's almost just as bad as, like, I'll say something. I'll look Ashley, like, directly in the face. I'll be like, literally, I'll be like, where'd you go today? And she'll be like, what? And I'll be like, I literally don't know how else to phrase that. Like, that feels like I've said it in the most simplest of terms.
You gotta say it like, where is this giant pebble?
Yeah. Where hath thou? No, like, I'll be like, or why do you have to say what? Like, you didn't hear me.
Yeah. If you could what, you could hear.
Yeah, you know exactly what I said. Anyways, we love our wives.
So, but what you're saying is your wife's an asshole.
No, I didn't say that.
Oh.
What? How did you get that out of what I said? How did you get anything other than love and endearment for my wife?
You told her not to get the mac and cheese, and she got the wrong mac and cheese. So
This was a while ago. She was still, she was still learning the culture.
So she's not an asshole.
I didn't say that either.
Okay, well
I plead the fifth.
let me just say this. Am I the asshole?
Yes.
No. Like it's time for am I the asshole?
Oh shit! Let's go.
There you go.
Is this a personal story, or you find another crazy ass like?
You know what? This isn't bad.
Okay.
There's no death,
Oh, that's good. But what is there?
but there's definitely a potential asshole.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. Am I the asshole for giving an ultimatum to my wife. Speaking of wives, I'm 37 years old and my wife is 38. And we've been together for 9 years and married for 6.5. And we have 2 children, age 7 and 5. And for the past 5 years, she went from 120 pounds to over 400 pounds. And every day, she just keeps on gaining more weight with no care in the world. In 2021 and 2022, I spent almost $1,500 on gym memberships, but she never used hers. She no longer can play with the kids or even take care of them. She works from home, so she spends most of her time sitting down. I cook healthy meals, but only the kids and I will eat it, since she likes all the junk food and takeout. I have tried my best. I was patient, compassionate, kind, supportive, and understanding, but my patience has run out, so yesterday I gave her an ultimatum. She has 6 months to either start losing weight and getting healthy, or I'm taking my shit out of here and taking the kids. We haven't had any sex in almost 2 years because I'm physically no longer attracted to her. I mean, I'm only 37. I'm 5'11", under 200 pounds, because I eat healthy. And I take care of my health and my physical appearance. And I don't want to spend the rest of my life dealing with this shit. This is not what I signed up for. So if I leave, am I the asshole?
You know what? I'm gonna just hand this one right back off to you. I want to know what you think.
As much as I would love to give you the perfect answer, I'm going to tell you that Duran has it.
That is a lie. Duran does not have that. Like, the big thing, I feel like I wrote that in my sleep or something. Because I feel that exact same way.
Wait, what? Okay. You should really clarify.
Go ahead and dig into the mic
What?
some. Go all the way into the mic. I want to make sure everybody hears you.
Alright. I'm just saying, he voices concern about his old lady gaining a little bit of happy weight.
That's not a little bit, though. That's the issue.
Hold on. A little bit of happy weight. You know, he mentioned things here and there, so progressively he started to try different things and say something, and she didn't try to do anything back to make it better or do anything, so now he's like, hey, if you don't get it together, then I'm out. And I feel like he's not an a-hole for that, and honestly, if that was in that situation for me, I'd be like, hey.
You just said you were in that situation.
No, I didn't. I said...
Bro, roll the tape back.
I completely agree. It's if I wrote it. I didn't
No. You said, I feel like I wrote that in my sleep because I'm going through the same thing.
I didn't say that.
Don't.
Michael, what did he say?
You did say that.
Dog, yes you did. That's why Michael and I both looked at each other like, yo, what?
That's why we told you dig on it.
This is wild.
I didn't say that.
Alright, you're gonna, when you hear this episode come out, you're gonna be like, oh shit, what did I do?
Hey, I'm gonna need all y'all to go to this Facebook and leave a comment and let him know what he said. Because he said it.
It's been a lot of that going around. But I digress. Regardless, I don't think he's the a-hole. And I just don't.
I actually don't think he's an asshole either.
If he's been saying something about it consistently.
That's what it is, yeah.
He's trying to help you and you just not giving in or doing that. And you like, I want it my way and I'm going to just do whatever. Like, you could die from that.
Yeah.
So is he? He's not being selfish about it. He just got the kids involved. He's going with you. He didn't just saying, he ain't calling you out your name, doing nothing crazy. And he's legitimately telling you, and you're not trying to abide to it. You can't get married and then just let yourself go like that.
There's got to be a reason why, though. Like something had to have happened to trigger that.
Yeah, like maybe she felt like she was looking bad from the get-go. And then it just started to snowball, and she got there, and she didn't know how to get out.
And this is where I feel like I disagree with you guys because I think he is an asshole. First off, till death do us part.
They may not have said
For
that in their
better
vows.
or for
They may
worse,
not have said
right?
that in their vows. Just because that's what you said doesn't mean that's what they said.
Is that what you said?
Their vows could have said until you gain 400 pounds.
Here's the thing, though. He also has to understand that he has a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old, right? Mm-hmm. So his wife went through this transformation of being 120 pounds. She had a 7-year-old, gained some baby weight. Before she could really
That's not
lose
what
that,
this says.
probably.
You're just assuming now.
No, that's what it says. That
It
she
didn't say-
started at 120 pounds.
No, but it didn't say she gained baby weight. It didn't say any of this was triggered from
Look
that.
at the timeline of it all.
What?
Look at the
You're
timeline
literally
of it all.
just assuming. Yeah, you're adding in a factor that may not even be there.
But it's a probable factor in most women after they have.
But we
baby,
have to
there
take
are
what
still
he's
some
saying
baby
at
weight.
face value.
But
We
I'm
can't
telling you my
create
opinion,
scenarios.
okay? I'm telling you my opinion. I'm not creating a scenario.
That's exactly
I'm
what you're
telling you
doing.
My opinion, right? So here's what we have to do. We have to look at that timeline. If he's saying that she's gained weight from when she had the kids, she was 120 pounds beforehand. She's now 400 pounds. 5 years after having her last child, right? That's what he said.
Okay.
How can we not factor that her body has changed
Because
from
it's
having
been
that baby?
5 years at that point.
Her body
This
has changed.
this isn't like, oh, she had a baby 6 months ago and she still has this baby. It's 5 years.
I really wish we had a woman here who's been through pregnancy to explain how their bodies change and how.
No, but we've all seen our wives go through something like
and it
this.
doesn't happen to every woman.
Right, but you're just assuming this is like the catalyst for it. It may not be.
I'm not saying it's just that, but I'm saying that definitely has a play on it.
But it may not.
We don't know what this
Exactly, we
Okay,
don't.
Okay, we don't know what this.
So we have to
woman's
take
been
this
through,
at face
right?
value.
We can't.
We have
can.
to. What do you mean?
Because if we look at it at just face value, then it looks like, okay, he may not be the a-hole because he's trying to buy her a membership. But how is he presenting this membership to her?
Again, we don't know.
This is only his
I
side.
feel like
So if
every
it's
single
like a
time we
point to
do
get
this.
people to be on her side, and it's not. He's asking if he's the a-hole, and it's like, okay, maybe that did happen, but like he said, this is like a face value thing where like she gained the weight. He said what he said. He told her, and she didn't do nothing about it. And now we hear he's like, well, now I'm weighing my options because she don't want to do anything about her weight. So I can't be mad at him for saying that.
Yeah, they very well could have had the conversation where he was like, "Hey, this is getting a little out of hand. We need to get control of this." And then she was just like, I'm good with that. No, thank you.
I'm more than positive that he did if he's getting to the point where he's writing online, am I the
Then why is he an asshole?
Because I think there are factors at play here as well that we just aren't considering.
5 years, Michael. 5 years.
Postpartum can last that long easily.
I will give her credit.
Now you're assuming she has postpartum.
You don't know.
This is the most ridiculous "am I the asshole" you've ever pulled out.
I
Because
just
you are
don't think
creating
so.
scenarios
I don't
in
think
this
so.
that aren't. You're creating variables that aren't given to us.
I think if you're looking at the fact that she was a completely healthy person before she had kids, and now it's gone 280 pounds since she's had her kids. Like, that tells you one of two. Like, in my mind, that tells me she is either dealing with something mentally.
Okay.
And the health factor is a thing. It may be the junk food and everything plays a part. But what has she gone through that makes her feel like she has to go to junk food and all of this? Because beforehand she wasn't doing it.
It could have been through the pandemic.
Once
She became working at home.
To eat
Okay,
more,
that's a mental
and
thing.
She just likes food, and she just kept eating the food. Like
Okay,
people do.
but if he was like, "Yo, we need to get this under control," and then he's repeatedly done that. He says he cooks healthy meals for her. She doesn't eat them. He's got her gym membership. She doesn't go. So like, at what point is he? Why does he have to continue to, like, fucking sacrifice all this shit? Like, at what? It's been 5 years. At what point can he finally be like, yeah, okay, if you're not gonna change, if you're not gonna try and get better for yourself, for me, for the kids, I'm fucking going.
And I'm taking the kids.
Well, yeah.
I mean, how's she gonna take care of him? And you could consider okay.
It literally says she can't play with him anymore.
If she has that, then he has. How do you know? You make it sound like he was cooking food and he was throwing a healthy plate at her face from like 40 feet away on a catapult or something, and she's just shoving it down her throat. Maybe he was trying to be nice and kind and she wasn't receptive.
Here's the thing. I do believe that he wants the best for her. I do believe that he has provided options for her to do this, right? But tell me this, Glenn. If I came to you and said, here's a gym membership. Duran, here's a gym membership. You need to get back in the gym. Right? You're not going to feel offended at all?
But the way you're presenting it is making it, it's like picking sides the way you're presenting it when you say those things. And when you say the things about the woman, like, yeah, she could have gained baby weight and she might have postpartum. But again, we're just talking about her eating. Maybe she just started eating more and she just never stopped. Maybe she postpartum. She just likes food.
I don't disagree that a portion of it is unhealthy eating. But I also think we need to understand that, like, if this happened within the time frame that she had the baby, like something triggered that to go from.
But if she's not willing to get any help,
we're not solving.
Then why should he have to continue?
We're not solving the why is she eating portion. We're solving the he an asshole for wanting to leave her for not wanting to do anything. So he's not an asshole because he kept asking you, and as your husband, you should be able to say, hey, maybe we shouldn't eat as much fast food.
Do you think he provided all the options he needed to provide to her?
I don't know, because I don't.
Yeah, we don't know.
It wasn't given. He
could have.
Based on what he said here, do you think he provided those options? Because what it sounds like,
based off what he said, I would say yes, he did.
What it sounds like to me is that he cares. He cares about her health, but he cares about her physical appearance.
But you have to be physically attracted to your partner.
It's nothing wrong with
you have to be.
Okay.
Appearance.
He literally said he's no longer sexually attracted to her.
What I'm saying is,
so if he's no longer sexually attracted to her, why should he have to stay with her? Why would you want him to stay with her?
I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is there's a mental factor to this that he wants her to take care of her physical, but it from what I read here, you guys take it at what you take it as, I take it as what I take it as, right? You say read it for face value. I immediately thought mental health on this for her.
No, but that's fine.
Right?
I went to but that's not to say I didn't think about that. He
never said at any point in here like, oh, I told her like maybe you should talk to a therapist or somebody because she had these kids. She may be going through something. She may not. She may very well just be a fat ass and just eating up the fridge every time he felt it. But I don't think he provided every avenue. I don't feel like he.
She's also a grown ass woman. She's 38 years old.
Okay, but sometimes
he might have provided those, but he didn't provide it in the explanation that he gave to ask people if he's an asshole. So it's like unknown. We don't know.
You went to the gym membership, for example. He said he spent what $1,500 on gym memberships.
Yeah,
you were just like, how do we not know she didn't ask for those? Like, what if she was like, yo, I want to get better, and he's like, all right, we'll get you a gym membership. She's like, yep, let's do it. He gets him, and then she's just like, no, I'm not going.
Yeah. I mean,
or maybe
it happens.
She did start to eat healthy.
Right, it does, exactly.
She didn't want to keep eating it. We just don't know.
But like, it happens. I've had a gym membership for over a year and didn't go to the damn gym.
Okay, but you're only proving the point.
But just to find out that a big portion of that was mentally I wasn't there.
Yeah, okay. It's not about mental health. It's about, is he an asshole because she doesn't want to...
Yeah. You're completely changing the narrative and conversation we're having.
He's not an asshole for asking that, in my opinion. So your opinion is that he is an asshole because he's not considering all his options. My opinion is he's not an asshole because he said what he needed and she didn't adhere to it. And so this is where it placed him in his mental space. Glen's thinking is he's not an asshole because, he's done things to do what he needed to do, and she rejected him.
And also, like, that's not to say this is how I would react. Like, that's not to say that if I was in the same situation, this is how I would react to it. You know what I mean? But I don't think he's an asshole for reacting the way that he's acting.
I do.
I just don't see how you can look at this and be like, yeah, he is an asshole.
If I had extra context,
do.
then I would say that. But
I do.
But what
Also, the
information
death
I
do
was
us part
provided-
argument is the worst argument you could have pulled right
do.
there.
For what information that we have, I don't think that he is. If any additional information was provided to give an inclination that he didn't do what he needed to do, or he didn't suggest that, then I was.
I'm not saying he. Listen. Like,
You're asking him to sacrifice his own mental health
I'm not saying.
for 7 years or 5 years.
So listen, I'm not saying he's an asshole because he didn't do all of this stuff. Like, he did a lot. I agree. He tried to help her get better. He tried putting healthier foods in the house. He tried buying this gym membership. He tried, like, essentially probably told her he wasn't attracted to her, you know? But I think what we need to look at is what triggered this behavior change for her.
No, we don't. That's not what this is.
Yes.
You're making this conversation a lot deeper than it needed to be for this.
I just think we need, but that's how I look at it. I think he needs to, before he can say, this is why I say he's an asshole, because he's throwing in a towel based off of this, but he never really looked at what caused the problem.
You don't know that, though. If you're going to throw assumptions out there that this is postpartum and stuff like
You
that.
guys said take it at face value, right? I'm taking it at face value.
You absolutely are not.
Yes, he did not provide.
You are 100% not taking it at face value if this is how you're looking at it.
Information to say that he did or did
He
not do
did provide information to say that he's done things.
to say what he did for her physical health. Right? He didn't say what he needed to do to find out what the root of the problem is of why she started to gain this weight.
Just like you say that, we don't know that because we don't know if that's the issue, and we don't know if he provided those solutions.
Okay,
because he didn't list them.
So let's just say I'll humor you. Okay, let's say that this was the catalyst was postpartum. Okay, or baby weight. Okay. She saw herself with all this weight. She started not liking how she was physically. Mm-hmm. To cope with that, she started eating more.
Right.
And then it just snowballed over the years.
Yeah.
So then at that point, the catalyst, the trigger was her not liking her appearance. So in order, maybe for him, he was like, okay, the way for her to start feeling better is for her to start changing her physical appearance back to how it was.
And for some people that works. Right.
Michael, what the hell are we doing here?
No, but
we could have this argument on every single thing that we talk about.
Can I talk real quick though, right? For some people that works, and I feel like this is his wife and he should know her, right? So him providing all of these physical options to change how her appearance is going to look and her not taking that step to do any of it, right? Maybe it's not a physical thing for her, but maybe she needs to change her mental before she can change her physical.
Okay, right. And maybe his way of doing that was just being real. Maybe it's like, all right, look, it's fucking time. I'm leaving and I'm taking the kids if you're not going to change.
Maybe that's his way, but
that doesn't make him an asshole.
The way you just said it proves that he's not.
I agree. I feel like your own argument has collapsed on itself a couple of times.
The very first thing you said. Do you remember what you said? Say it again. The very first thing. The very first line.
He's an asshole.
No, what you just said when you said, "Let me talk." The first line you said, I want you to say it. So
you tell me what I said.
I want you to say it.
Tell me what I said, because I've said a lot.
So you don't remember?
No. Tell me what I said.
Basically, you're saying that everybody doesn't work the same and that it's a mental thing for her. But on that same token, you said it's his wife and he should know her. But if postpartum changed her mind, he does not know her because she's not the same. So those same things that would work for her on the usual are not going to work. So he's trying different things to do things. Again, this leads to information that we don't have because we don't know if he suggested or even brought up anything to do with the mental or anything to do outside of the physicality. He just posted what he did and a few things. He said, hey, this is what I tried. Tried cooking. I tried doing this. And this didn't work. It's just like we was having a conversation and saying, just a few things like, Glenn, what'd you eat today? I ate a burger. I ate a sandwich.
This has absolutely nothing to fucking do with what we're talking about, so I'm going to cut you off here.
No,
because
but-
Glenn said he's going to humor. You're talking about fucking eating burgers right now, and that's not what it is about.
You didn't even try to listen
That's
to my
not.
example, and you
That's
just sat
not.
here and gave a
That's
whole
not.
monologue with
That's not
information
what
that we
it's
didn't
about.
have.
But
It
you're
is what
veering
you-
off into
I'm not
something
veering
else.
off. You didn't even
What
try to
does
hear it
Glenn
out.
having to eat a burger have to do with anything
I'm not
over
talking
here?
about Glenn eating a burger. I'm talking
Hold-
about the options. If I asked him in a conversation, hey, what did you have? He's not going to list every single thing he had for the day. The gentleman did not list every single thing that he did for his wife because it's an unknown. His wife may have some mental issues or something going on, but we don't know because it's not posted. It's not said. It doesn't say she had postpartum. It didn't say any of that. It didn't say, I've tried every single thing I could possibly do. He said, this is what I've done. It's not working, and this is my solution.
Okay.
This is my resolution I've gotten to.
Okay.
But also, I think like on a more like not like on such a deep level, like I don't think anybody should be labeled an asshole for like wanting to get out of a relationship also. Like no matter what the reason, like everybody has their reasons, right? And you have to be like he said, he's no longer attracted to her. You have to be physically attracted. As much as you may love somebody, you have to be physically attracted to that person in order to maintain a relationship, in my opinion.
Because then you're just being disrespectful. You just
I
be
agree.
there just to be there. And
Yeah.
Just for what? And you don't even really like this person. It's not just the looks. It's a combination of all the things. But again, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about this guy who said he's done because he doesn't like, maybe he doesn't like big girls. I don't know. He just doesn't want her to be like that. He's done what he's done, and that's it. He threw in the towel.
If we take this at face value, like you guys are saying, Glenn, you say what?
He's not an asshole.
Why?
Because given the information that we have, I feel like he has done what he can to try and get her to be healthy. She's not reciprocating it, doesn't want to do it. So he's like, all right, if you're not going to put in the effort, why should I keep putting in the effort?
Okay. Given the information at face value, what do you say?
He's not an asshole.
Why?
He's done. He did what he wanted. He did what he did to try to solve the problem that he was having, and it didn't work out. He's tried what we know, and to him, that was his breaking point or his limit. Everybody's allowed to have a limit.
I agree.
Okay. Given the information or the lack of information is why I say he's an asshole.
You can't add lack of. You're still adding something.
I feel like we have enough
You said
information.
What we know with both of us, but then when you got to you said lack of. So you added something again.
Like what?
I'm not adding anything.
but like,
I'm saying that
how would
looking
he
at it
not
face
be an
value,
asshole to you?
I'm saying looking at it face value for what it is, there is not enough information in there for me to say he's not an asshole.
How?
Because
What if he was
Because
just simply
that's-
like, what if all that said was, I'm no longer attracted to my wife, I want to leave her. Am I an asshole?
I would
What
say
would you?
yes.
You're so fucking full of it.
I would say
Why? Why? That
Everybody
doesn't make
has
any
their
fucking
limit,
sense,
whether I
Michael.
agree with the limit or
I
not.
just-
Everybody has their breaking point.
It's-
That's completely valid.
It is my beliefs on marriage. If he said I was no longer attracted to my girlfriend,
Let me ask you a question.
get the hell out of there.
Let me ask you a question. If you don't feel like your wife is providing what you deem is necessary in a relationship, should you stay in there? Should
Your
you stay?
wife?
Yes. Should you stay in that relationship?
I think that's a loaded question.
Okay. Is it wrong? Okay, so it's very personal, right? Your answer may be completely different from somebody else's, but you shouldn't judge them for that, right? For like, you shouldn't judge somebody for wanting to leave a relationship because maybe just because you wouldn't leave that relationship for that reason, like exactly like Duran said, everybody has their breaking point.
Yeah.
Everybody has.
Yeah.
So that doesn't make him an asshole for reaching his breaking point and being like, I'm fucking done.
Here's the thing, though. Like,
and I'm taking the kids because you're in no condition to take care of them.
So here's the thing. Like, your opinion on marriage and your opinion on marriage and my opinion on marriage all differ, right? Because there's so much you're going to put up with, so much you're going to put up with, so much I'm going to put up with before we reach that breaking point.
Right. But when you reach yours, I'm not going to tell you you're an asshole, though.
But when you reach yours, I will.
But why? So now this is more. Now you have more issues than he does.
No, because it's my opinion.
But that doesn't.
If you ask
your
me my
opinion, okay.
So look, if you reached your breaking point,
so everybody that has a different opinion than you is an asshole.
No, but like
that's literally what you just said.
Saying. My opinion.
That is literally
opinion,
what
right?
you just said, though.
So look, my opinion is my opinion. So my opinion on marriage, right? And we're not going to go too deep into it, but here's what I will say: if you ask me my opinion on what you're doing in your marriage, I'm going to give you my opinion. He asked me my opinion.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
I gave it. Right. So, like, to tell me that I'm wrong for saying he is an asshole, he asked our opinion. You gave your opinion and said he's not. You gave yours and said he's not. I gave mine and says, in my opinion, he is. Right?
But your reasoning doesn't doesn't. You have like no footing on there. Like,
you're right. In your opinion, you can say that. I never said you was wrong for having your opinion. I said you're adding extra factors into it, making it biased. So you're right. It is your opinion. You could say he's.
I'm not making it biased.
But you are. You added in factors.
You guys told me to take it for face value, right?
Which you still aren't doing, by the way.
When we look at it at face value, it's his. Everything in this story is from his point of view. There is a lack of information from her point of view for me to get a full story.
Michael,
so in
that's
my opinion,
every single "Am I the asshole?" we do, though.
Okay,
that's the point of it. But you don't do this on the other ones.
Yeah, I do say whether they're an asshole or not.
No, but
my opinion.
No, but you don't bring in outside factors that may or may not be involved. No, you do not.
I will go back week by week and add them in here.
Don't.
We go off on these and veer off into every other opinion in this, and we do it.
Last one, we didn't do that when the girl invited her friends out to the trip when the guy was going to propose. We just said that she's an asshole because she did that. We didn't go into...
We said she's an asshole. And if you listen to the rest of it, we start talking about how long they've been friends, all of this. Like, if you go back and listen, we added a backstory in the history that was not a part of Am I the Asshole. We do it every episode. But you guys agree this time, and I disagree, and now it's look at the facts.
That's not even remotely
face value.
You said face value, but then you said something.
Because you said she's depressed because she has baby weight.
I said she could be.
No,
if you look at
first
timeline.
You started it off. You were like, "Look, you look at the timeline. She's gained weight because she had babies and stuff like that." But then you were like, "But not everybody does that." So now it's like it doesn't make sense what you were saying.
But if you're looking at the timeline of everything that's happened, all the women,
5 years,
the women are gonna agree with me, right?
You say look at the timeline.
If you look at that timeline,
years, Michael.
Do you know how long postpartum depression can last?
But at what point
we don't have that information.
But at what point, like, how you say how long it, like, so how long is he supposed to go on then? Give me that answer, because if you think he's an asshole, that means there has to be a number in your head where because he's been dealing with this for 5 years now. So if you think he's an asshole, at what time is he not an asshole?
Everything he's said in here has been his physical attractiveness to her, but none of it has been, let me make sure that her mind is right and that she is good. He hasn't said any of that, so you can't say he did.
I'm not saying he did. No. I'm not saying he did.
Hold on, right there.
Can I finish my fucking point first?
You've been talking the whole time more than everybody.
No, every time I get to my point, you guys cut me off and then I fucking forget.
That is not the case. You've made several points here, and I'm trying to address them, but I can't address them if you keep going from thing to thing to thing.
And you can't wait until I finish and then address it.
I did wait. I said hold up.
What?
Stop what you're saying so I can interrupt you.
And so I can say something.
But I'm in the middle of my thought right then and there, and then you say stop and hold up.
Go ahead.
Well, damn, I done fucking forgot it now.
Of course you did. So it's my fault. Got you.
Remember when I told y'all they were Anyways, all right. Recap. No, he's not an asshole.
Yes, he is.
He can say what he want to say. He's been completely irrational. His opinion is valid because it's his opinion, but we have extra factors that are not there, and that's not going to change. And he continues to denounce this mental thing that was not stated. She could totally have postpartum. It's a thing. We're totally not insensitive to it. We're all husbands. We have wives. We have children. We all know or have dealt with experiences or things that come up with that journey. So it's not like that's totally not a possibility, but that is not the topic.
But yeah, like your entire argument went out the window when I said was like, if he's just not attracted to her anymore and leaves her, is he an asshole? And you said yes. Your entire argument no longer mattered at that
marriage
point.
isn't just about the physical attraction.
But it is a big part of it. You have to be attracted to them. If you lose one part of the marriage, then the whole thing can come crumbling down. And it sucks, and maybe they shouldn't have been married in the first place.
Some people do marry for that. People
marriage
people
is
do what they do.
Continuously falling in love with somebody over a lifetime.
That is,
but there's a reason divorce exists.
Exactly, because
it's
because people don't fight and hang in there long enough.
I don't think that's true.
I think now not all divorces are like terrible, because I like my, let's not get too deep in it, but like cheating, I think like that's my automatic like,
yeah, no, I agree.
I'm done.
Yeah. If you cheat on me, there's no reason for us to continue this.
But I feel like if it's a thing of like this, I feel like it's, and I can't say like, and this is where it comes into opinions, because like you said, my timeline is different than your timeline. If you went out and you got a divorce and you're like, man, dude, yeah, I just wasn't physically attracted to my wife anymore or whatever, but you never asked me my opinion, I'm never going to give you my opinion. Like, you won't ever know how I feel, because it's not my job to sit here and say, oh yeah, you're right or you're wrong. I'm not saying he's right or he's wrong. I'm saying, in my opinion, he is an asshole. Doesn't mean what he's doing for him and his kids is right or wrong.
But by saying that, you are invalidating his feelings.
I think when it comes to the marriage, he's an asshole.
But that's because you're applying your beliefs in marriage. But his limit was probably physicality. Maybe they got married on that note.
I think most men are physical creatures, and that's what they look for.
You don't want to be with somebody that's unattractive, regardless of how I feel on my values in marriage. That's you. So if you don't want to be with somebody because of that, you have every right to feel that way. It's not my job to shove my opinion down your throat because I disagree with why you got married, regardless of how I feel or what I think.
Yeah, so dude.
If that's what he did, that's for Tom or whatever his name is. That's him. Well, I believe the same beliefs that you have, or we have some strong beliefs. I still cannot judge him for saying, hey, you're getting too big. I don't like it. And at least he even tried. Some people just throw in the towel. I don't believe in divorce, but I know people who've gotten divorced. I don't look down on them because I wasn't in their marriage. And it's not my limit to impose. Yes, I can tell you how I feel about it. But then I'm persecuting you because I'm like, well, I believe that you supposed to stay in your marriage through thick and through thin. And you supposed to be here for sick and health and for death do us part, and I feel like you didn't do that. And that person's looking at me like, whoa, bro, you don't even know, you know what I told you, but you weren't there. I got to some place in my mind that told me, hey, I need to get away from this or be here. Regardless of how stupid I think it is, it's still that person's right to have that or do that.
I think the moral of the story is don't marry an uggo.
Hold on, let me respond before we make too many jokes. So, but the only thing I will say is, you said just now, and that's why Glen's trying to joke it off. You said my exact point of that, like he probably has gone through a whole bunch of stuff that he didn't tell you, right? But you just gave your opinion on his marriage to him.
I didn't. I said if I was to give an opinion or he asked me, then I'll tell him. But my opinion is not valid because he's reached a limit. So I can't say something to him about what he's done just because I feel uncomfortable with it.
But if he asks you your opinion and you give it,
yeah, if he asks,
you're giving.
Well, he
it
is asking our opinion here.
But I'm telling you something based off how I feel, but I'm still talking about the subject. I'm not talking about like, you know.
No, and I get that,
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, just because you disagree with his methods, I don't think that constitutes him being an asshole. Is really what I was trying to say throughout this whole thing.
Okay.
And I think it's fair. It's kind of jacked up when you think about it. Like, don't take the lady's kids away, but if she's unable to do anything I leave my kids here and I leave, and then how are you feeding my kids? Who's taking care of them? Who's getting them dressed? How are they getting from point A to point B?
You're adding stuff in that's not in the story.
I'm not.
He said he would take the kids.
What are you talking about?
No, he's talking about how they're going to get from point A to
She
point
can't
B
get up
and all
play
that.
with them. How they gonna get somewhere?
Just because she can't get down and play with them doesn't mean she can't get around the house. And she can't get them from school or get them to and from different places.
Yeah, I mean,
He just
she's
said
like 400
they can't
pounds. I mean,
play
that's
with
still enough to like.
It is, but it sounds like
She could still take him to school and stuff. But it's said that she can't play with him.
She can't play with him, but it doesn't say she can't provide for
so
them.
we'll take that.
I mean, but that's
so
like
she can't play.
you need
with
to play
them.
with your
Maybe she's
kids.
taking them places, but it's still risky.
No, you don't. You give them a fucking tablet and let them have fun.
Okay. So this is millennial kids. So what if something happens and she can't get up fast enough?
You're adding to the story.
I'm not adding to the story.
You were supposed to take it at face value.
That is face value.
It didn't say that she can't get up fast enough out the bed. You see how this works?
No,
Against society?
no.
You see how this works?
No,
against society?
yours is different. You were stating your opinion as fact.
All right.
I didn't state it as fact.
Yes.
No,
You
I'm
were
saying
stating
these are
it
things-
as fact, though.
I see how
So
this
what
is
I was
going.
pointing out in this whole thing is these are things that he failed to acknowledge in his story that I felt like he should have looked at, which is reasons why I felt like him leaving the marriage makes him an asshole.
So
Three
if
different things. You felt like he should have did those things. He didn't put them in the story. And then you said he's going to leave his marriage because of this.
I guess my question is, if you can assume, like if you can look at it like maybe it's postpartum and stuff like that, right? If you can go down the avenue of assuming that's why she did it, if you can add those variables, why can't you then be like, he probably did ask her about her mental health? And
I mean, you guys could have argued that.
I'm asking you that now. I'm asking you that now. I'm asking you that now, Michael.
We don't have that information, and that's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
But here's what I'm saying.
But
you
I'm
guys are
saying you can't add a certain variable, but then be like, no, we can't add this variable.
Hold on, but that's not what I'm saying.
That's
saying
exactly what you're
you guys
doing.
are saying he's not an asshole without that information. I'm saying he is an asshole without that information, and you guys are telling me my opinion's wrong.
No, you are saying he's an asshole without this information because of this information that we don't have. That's not what we're doing. You're adding information and then saying that we don't have this information, and then you're creating an
information did I
opinion.
add?
What do you mean?
What did I add?
The postpartum.
No, I said there's a possibility that she has.
And there's a possibility that he asked her about her mental health too, but you didn't go down that avenue. You just called him.
That's my opinion, and I'm telling you,
And
from
that's what I'm saying.
experience, how much
Michael,
women has dealt with.
But that's what I'm saying is you're adding this part, leaving out this part, and then calling him an asshole. But we don't have this part, and we don't have this part.
Here's the thing. I'm not calling him an asshole because of this part.
Yes,
I'm
you are.
calling him an asshole for the lack of all of this information that he left out. And now he's like, I'm leaving the marriage because of all of this physical stuff that he gave us. But it's like, marriage is not just a physical attraction.
So then where the or where I guess the disconnect between us is that you shouldn't have even brought up this part then. If you would have just said from the get-go, I don't have enough information to feel like he's done enough, I think he's an asshole.
Let's put it like this.
Do you see what I mean, though?
Okay, let's put it like this. I think he's an asshole because he gave the physical approach of what he's done, but he has not given the holistic approach to what he has done. And in that opinion, because he's leaving the marriage without giving us the holistic approach, his main focus is, I've done all of this to correct her physical attractiveness, not the holistic woman. I think he's an asshole.
And that's where I still differ, and that this man could have went on there and be like, I just don't like my wife anymore. I wouldn't think he's an asshole for wanting to leave that relationship. You know what I mean? Like,
he don't like. So
yeah.
Again, we don't know if she knew that.
Because like you said, a lot of people get married strictly based off of looks alone.
And
physical attraction.
Your values on marriage.
You're absolutely right.
Marriage might not be held to the same standard.
And I don't think that makes somebody an asshole for doing
based
it.
on looks alone is an asshole.
That's just them, but that's them.
But yeah, that's how they approach marriage. A lot of people don't even
date people that you consider a 10.
Yeah.
I mean, but I think marriage is getting to know someone deeper before you get there.
But that's
So
that's your opinion, right?
here's my
Of
thing.
marriage.
I feel like if you get married based just on the physical, you're an asshole. Because that physical is going to fade at some point. You're both going to get older. Skin's going to sag. Nipples are going to be down to the ground.
Some people
Now you're not attracted to her anymore. Some people might not be able to get it up anymore. Like, there's a bunch of factors that's going to happen in life for both of them, right? So it's like, when you're getting married, you're marrying a person as a whole, and if you're getting married just on physical, I'm gonna say you're an asshole every time.
Okay,
I
so
do
what
agree that physical is a part of it.
Let me ask you a question then, just to kind of play devil's advocate here and play the other side. Mm-hmm. If she just like went fucking crazy, right? Just went absolutely batshit crazy, but was still hot, but he was like, I don't want to be married with her anymore because she's fucking crazy. Is he an asshole for leaving her? There's no way you're going to say yes to this. There's no way you're going to say yes.
You don't know him,
when you say batshit crazy,
yeah,
is there physical violence involved?
You think that is.
I'm giving you as much information as we have on that.
Yes, because there's not enough information.
So he's still an asshole.
Yes.
That doesn't. What?
Wait.
Okay, but then if he was like, she's crazy and ugly, I'm leaving her. Is he an asshole?
Yes.
So then if anybody gets divorced, they're assholes. That's your opinion, and that's it.
I ask: was she displaying her crazy prior to them getting married?
Let's assume no.
No.
Yeah, let's assume
so
no.
all of this
because we'll assume like she wasn't displaying that before they got married because she was skinny when they got married. So no, she wasn't displaying that.
But you're
the
saying
factors
she's still
changed,
hot, and then now she's hot, and her crazy scale went from hot insane to hot and crazy.
Yes, but he's like, I can't deal with her craziness anymore. I want a divorce.
Did he reach out holistically to try to take care of her mental health? See, there's just not enough factors, and I feel like.
So then, like, how much information do you need for him to not be an asshole? I guess is my question.
I feel like, but here's the thing: I feel like before you marry somebody, like, you should know this stuff. Like, if you're rushing in to get married, then you put yourself in that situation. You're an a-hole. You should know your person before you get married. And a lot of people get married and they see all of the signs, but this person's hot, so they ignore the crazy. And then 4 years into it, they realize, God damn, this person is crazy as hell.
So then they leave him. They're an asshole.
So then they leave him.
Okay, but I didn't give you that variable. She became crazy after the fact, and you said he's still an asshole.
Yes, because
so there's nothing I could say to you.
I feel like if those factors weren't there beforehand, and then they popped up, right? Mm-hmm. Then there's a responsibility to your spouse to try to help them to every capacity that you can. And that's why I say there's not enough information, because I feel like they're going to need to.
Okay. So
I'll do a lot to you. We're going to cut a lot of this shit out and put it as an extra, because we're almost at an hour and 45 minutes tonight.
That's fine.
So this whole conversation's going on.
Because this is actually a really interesting conversation. I'm actually, as much as like we started yelling at each other, I'm actually enjoying this conversation because I like to know how wrong you are all the time, Michael.
You can say
I'm just kidding. Go on. Go ahead.
Like, I just want to state this has nothing to do with anybody asshole anymore. We're talking about marriage.
Yeah, now we've kind of veered off at this point, and now it's just like
that's a whole different conversation that I was not equipped to talk about. So I don't want to really dive into that.
We've already really dove into it, Duran.
Michael dove into that. I just said that he just got unknown unknowns, just under this unknown unknowns. Boondocks.
Okay, so. but okay. Just off of the am I the asshole, like, just veering off into the marriage conversation, though, like, do you think that people should be, I'm not even going to say able to, because you're able to do whatever the hell you want to do, technically, right? I can go out and kill somebody. There's consequences or whatever for your actions, right?
Sure.
So
the consequences of her putting on the weight is that he's leaving. Like, what?
But you also have to factor in the fact that he put 2 babies in her, and she had to be the one to carry that.
I agree.
She has to deal with things that her body changes that his body doesn't. Right? He's like, oh man, I'm 5'11", short fucker. I'm 5'11",
hold on,
and under 200 pounds.
Jesus.
Well, he's just saying what he can and can't handle, so maybe that's not his cup of tea.
I mean,
now you're attacking his physical appearance, you asshole.
But now that I think about it, 5'11", under 200 pounds with a 400-pound woman. God,
all right, see?
But I feel like she went from 120 to 280 pounds. So, like, she gained 280 pounds.
Look, we're very clearly not getting anywhere with this.
But, like, you'll feel like
nothing you said has changed my mind or Duran's mind. No. Nothing we've said has changed your mind.
But I understand where you're coming from and why you said that. But the problem is, we're not talking about women's health and not women's health. We're talking about her health. We're not talking about whether it's every woman or everything. We're just talking about what about the guy in this situation? Is he not having feelings because of this? He can't be hurt or destroyed that it's not the same person that he likes or he enjoys.
I guess that's my point. Is like, just because he's going about it a way that I wouldn't doesn't mean I think he's an asshole. That's not how I personally would handle the situation.
He still wants her. He wants her to be a mom.
And my thing, like, listen, and that's my whole thing. Like, my thing isn't the whole him wanting her to lose weight, him not being attracted. Like, I don't think that makes him an asshole, that he's not attracted, that he wants her to lose weight, that he wants to leave her. Like, none of that is what makes him the asshole. What makes him the asshole, in my opinion, is that he made this commitment, this lifelong commitment that so many people make, and now he's going back on it because of this log in the road. That's
right, but I guess that's where I think, like, it comes off where, like, if anybody gets divorced, you just think they're an asshole.
No.
That's how it comes off.
No,
and you can tell me that's not like what you mean, but when you listen to it from an outsider's perspective, that's what it sounds like.
And then my feelings towards it, I can go in deep like that, like how you saying, because I have an even tougher belief in marriage. But it's not about that, how I feel about it. It's about his limit and what he can take or what he wants to deal with. So I can't impose those things on him, even in conversation, because I'm like, he said that was his thing and he don't want to do it.
This is where I will defend Michael in that, though, is that he literally asked for our opinion on it.
Yeah.
So,
and also with that, I think like these are conversations that people don't have before they get married, of what are my limits? Like, what are my deal breakers with this?
Well,
because
a lot of people don't know, though.
Yeah,
right?
but
you may not know what a deal breaker is for you until it happens.
Oh, you can't tell me he didn't know a 400-pound woman.
But he also probably never thought that was possible. You know what I mean?
But that's the thing. You got to have these open conversations.
How often do you joke where it's like, unless you gain 400 pounds, then, they probably joked about that at one point, and she was like, nah, it's not happening. He's like, oh, I know. And then it happened, and it's like, oh, shit, I really don't like that.
But it's a communication thing. Like, before you go out and get married and say, I do, through thick and thin, or whatever all those vows say that people read, because most of them are the same. Like, whether you're in a church, well, they might differ in a church sometimes because it's before God.
Well, and see, that's another thing where I think your opinion on marriage is rooted within religion, where like
it's not
mine. I think it is.
It's not,
because I don't think you can separate the two when you're religious.
Yes, I can.
I don't think you can.
I can.
I don't think you can, but that's my opinion. I don't think you can.
I can't say that. I'm gonna just tell you that you can, and then I'm not saying you're wrong. That's just me. You can.
Because I think at some point it's always going to play a factor in it.
Well, here's the thing. Like, my views on marriage aren't necessarily religious views on marriage. Like, religious views on marriage are probably like a lot more strict of like, the woman needs to like submit to the man, and like
that's like, I don't
like
think
wives submit to the husband, and like things like this and all of that, and like there's a completely different view on
that's
that.
That's white America marriage, like
this is America,
like the 50s, 40s.
I would just say it's a key phrase.
Just say it. This is the aftercast. This is after the podcast ends for us.
I'm just saying, that's not submit to your husband, submit to your wife, and that's it. It's reasonings behind that because it's an order. So you doing it out of a respect for your husband or your wife, not because you trying to have control or power, or it needs to be your way or the highway.
Yeah, and the submission to your wife and husband isn't necessarily like a slavery type thing. Like, religious wise, it's not that. It like you said, it is a respect. It's God, husband, wife, kids, right? That's that. In the
not
Bible,
for me.
That's how it goes.
Oh, okay.
Right. And
this is why I wish we had, because now I want to talk about religion and how like different our opinion is on it from each other.
Well, and in that aspect,
we've gone like,
for me, it does bleed over. Similarly, because
now I'm just not even talking about marriage anymore. Now I just want to talk about our difference in opinion on religion, because I've already got myself worked up that now I want to keep feeding that flame.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Let me finish. I know. With my view of it, right?
Yeah.
Mine is kind of similar, where it's like, for me, it's God is always up top for me, right? But there's husband and wife. And for a lot of people, when I say this, they are gonna be like, "Nope, I don't agree with it." But like, my wife comes first
before your kids.
Yeah. And the reason being is because we're like-minded, right? I know who I married, and I know that for me, my wife comes first. For her husband comes first. But we are gonna put our kids' best interests. So, like, it's a team for making what's best for our kids. And I feel like a lot of people don't look at it the same way. Sometimes it's like the husband's like, oh, yeah, my kids come first. And the wife's like, my kids come first. Well, if both of you are putting your kids first, then you're both neglecting each other at some point. Because the kids
I don't necessarily
so
think
much.
that's true.
Kids require so much of your time. And when you work on it as a team, then you have time. Like, when it's like, okay, I need to take care of you, and we'll take care of them. That's different than I'm gonna take care of them on my time. She's gonna take care of them on their time. And then if we have energy at the end, we'll come back around and visit each other. And I feel like that's the downfall of a lot of people's thinking, in my opinion, because it's always a focus of those kids are coming before your spouse. And now, granted, I'm not saying, let's fly off to Vegas and fuck them kids, like real life fuck them kids, because my husband or wife comes first. Because I feel like if you know the person that you marry, you're going to know what their thinking is as far as when it comes to these kids. We're going to partner up. We're going to do this. We're going to make sure they're good. But we also are going to make sure we're good. And that's just my thinking.
This is where, like, the spouse comes first or kids come first. Like, see, to me, my kids will come first. Now, that's not to say I see it not, but I don't think that's taking anything away from my wife.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think it's taking any energy, or even to say that, because like for me, it goes my kids, my wife, but I don't look at it on like a day-to-day basis. Like it's like in like the most extreme cases what I have to choose between them. You know what I mean? Where it's like if we want to go like super extreme, it's like, all right, fucking my kids and my wife are, there's, 2 parachutes on the plane. My kids and my wife are on it. Who's getting them? I'm giving them to my kids. You know what I mean? Like that's how I picture it. That's where I choose my kids over my wife. But not like that's not saying like my wife still comes before me. She still comes very high on the list. Her needs will always be met. You know what I mean?
And I think we agree on that. I think we just look at it differently because
we may, yeah.
Because in that same scenario, like if it were me and Brittany and our kids on there, and that same scenario with the parachute,
you're like, you guys collectively agree they should get it,
yeah,
right?
I would look at Brittany and we both know like the kids are getting
right, and that's but that's I think that's putting your kids first, not putting your spouse first. You know what I mean?
And I just think, but the difference is like if we're in a situation where like my wife and my kids are arguing or screaming at each other, right? I'm going to make sure she's okay. And then we're going to make sure the kids are okay because we're going to do it as a team. And that's just my thing. Like, I don't know. That's where the like wife comes first for me, kids. Cause when it comes to the well-being and the overall of the kids, like our mindset is the same. We're going to make sure and do what's best for them. And I see that's what you're saying as well. Like you're going to do what's best for your kids and so is your wife.
See, that's where but this is where we are kind of different. If like my wife and my wife and my daughter are constantly at each other's throats, right? Just like all the time, just like back and forth. And it's gotten to the point where now I'm like, she's like, well, she's doing this. And I'm like, well, she's fucking 4. You're a grown ass woman. You know what I mean? Like it's gotten so bad where like, I'm just done with it. And I have to, I feel like I have to tell my wife, you need to be the adult in this situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe that's where we're different is that you're like, no, no matter how wrong you are, you're right.
It's not a right or wrong because, like, do you do that in front of your daughter? Do you say that in front of her?
I probably have, yeah, admittedly.
And
I'm not saying that I should be doing that. I probably shouldn't. But
see, and when I say I'm making sure my wife's good first, like, so what I would probably do is be like, let's go talk real quick, right? And then we'd go off, and I'd be like, you need to stop fucking arguing with the 4-year-old. Like, I understand your day's rough and all of this, but I wouldn't do it in front of her. But I'd be like, but you also need to understand she's 4 and she's going to have these moments, right? And I want to make sure you're good. So you take care. Like, if you need a minute to calm down, do whatever, you do that. I'm going to go out here and check on our daughter, right?
See, and I guess you probably, it sounds like just have more patience than I do. Because, like, once it's reached that point, I don't want to, like, just have a private conversation where it's like, what are you doing? Like, I'm just like, why the fuck are you arguing with her right now? You know what I mean? Like, just fucking stop it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I lose patience very quickly. And that is a me problem. I am fully aware of that.
Oh, man. So now
but at the end of the day,
in 13 years, your daughter's going to be like, quit fucking arguing with me, Mom, I'm 18.
Okay, but here, like, I'll tell Ashley, I'll be like, she's 4, fucking stop. And in the same vein, Charlie will do something, and I'll be like, you're fucking 4, stop. She's 5 now, so if she listens to this, she'll be like, yeah, she shouldn't be listening to this.
Hopefully it's around.
But, like, I will still, like, even if I'm like, yo, you need to not, and I think I don't remember where I heard it, but it was like, in public, you should always support your wife in public, correct them in private, right? So, like, if your wife is saying 2 + 2 is 5 in public, you like, 2 + 2 is 5. I don't remember who the comedian was. So, but when you get in private, you're like, yo, you said some dumb shit right there, just so you know. And maybe that's how I should start approaching it. Is be like,
Well, you
in
remember we
public.
had that conversation.
Did we?
Yeah, remember I asked you first I think I asked you first, like if your wife and your mom got into an argument, like whose side are you picking?
Yeah.
And
I don't remember what I
you
said.
100% was like, my wife's. Like,
because
in public, and I was like, now she could be completely wrong, but what? And you're like, I mean, when we get in the car, I'm gonna tell her she was fucking wrong. But while we're right there and we're going to, like, no, you're not gonna yell and curse and do all of this, like whatever. And then I asked her, and this was probably like 2017 or so. And I asked her, and she was like, yeah, I'm picking my mom every time. And I said, oh, well, yeah, you're not ready to get married.
she probably still would pick her mom, honestly.
And I think it was, when was Benji born? 2020? 2021?
2021.
2021 was when your son was born, and I went back and asked her afterwards because she had announced you're getting married. Set a date. I went back and I said, hey, so let me ask you a question. I asked you this before, like, so if your mom and Glen are getting into it, and I said, Glen could be completely wrong, whatever, but your mom's just drilling into him, F you and this and that and that, and her mom, I don't think I've ever heard her do that before, but like she's just drilling into you, right? Whose side you gonna take? And she was like, Glen's. And she was like, I get what you mean now. She's like, I'm taking Glen's side. Now, when I get in the car, I'm going to tell him Glenjamin James.
Glenjamin James?
Glenjamin Charles.
Yes, thank you.
That's what she said. But I'm like, okay, then, as long as you roll. But that's a thing where I'm like, that's a putting your partner first type deal. Like, making sure that you're not making them feel isolated or unsupported in those moments. Like, even when y'all don't get along, or even when you walk in on her arguing with a 4-year-old, like, you take that time to be like, I'm here with you. You're wrong. And like, I'm here with you, but I'm not gonna like do it in a way that tears you down.
I guess it's just like, it's nonstop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's literally like,
old.
it's like every day I walk home I get home, walk in the door, and they're just like yelling. It's like, why the fuck did I even come home?
They're not. She's
you know
not
what I
even
mean? It's
seeing
like,
it.
I wish I would have worked a 14-hour day today, because I get
news?
so tired of listening to them fight.
Can I use some bad news?
Yeah, it's all right. I know.
You're about to have another girl.
Yeah, I know.
It's gonna happen.
It's not gonna get better. It's just, I know. And so I'm already planning on fist fighting my son when he's older, just to make up for this whole thing. Yeah, just so she can feel some kind of way.
She's gonna be like, he's 2.
Yep. Like, so what? He can catch these hands.
Now you see how I feel. Duran's like, I do that already.
All right, guys. I feel like we've kind of reached a point where this podcast got a little out of hand at some times, but it was a good conversation nonetheless.
Hey, look, thank y'all for tuning in to the Aftercast. What we're going to do is cut this. So we'll probably fade it out some.
Wait. Hold on. If this is the Aftercast, that means it's after dark. It's after the podcast. I don't like the voice you're using right now to explain what's going to happen. I'm going to need you to change it up, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the Aftercast. Ooh. What we're going to do is we're going to cut this. We're going to post it as a part 2 to this episode for those who want to hear it. But we are actually going to go back in and make sure that we stop this at the Am I the Asshole before the rant.
Can we do that? It felt like we got it felt like we got right into the rant.
We can. I'll find a good spot for it.
Okay. Duran, you got anything else you want to add before we wrap this bad boy up?
I mean, what can I say after hearing that smooth voice right there?
Yeah, that's
Let me ask you a question, Duran. Where can they find us?
You can find us on the U of the Two,
Ooh.
TikTok. You can find us on Spotify. You can You can find us on Instagram.
You can spot us on Spotify.
You can.
And what's our name on all of those?
We have that guy and this guy for YouTube. That guy and this guy for the Spotify.
Oh yeah.
And Instagram is that guy, this guy.
Oh yeah.
And it's one of them
Twitter?
numbers for Twitter. Is it Twitter that has a number?
Yeah, maybe.
That guy and this guy 8.
But you know what?
Yeah, that
guy.
If you just search that guy and this
and you're
guy.
gonna see these handsome faces, and for that we deserve a follow.
Follow us, like us, comment, subscribe, and have a good night.